Hey guys, what's going on today? I want to do just a quick comparison to the QSP knife. This is a C. Risner special edition or whatever that he has QSP make as his OEM, and this is a JackWolf knife, and we don't know who the OEM is because he doesn't say. It could be QSP, I don't know, but we're going to kind of look at not so much, we can't really compare the designs because they're completely different, but we can compare some of the qualities of the knives because, hey, they both have a lot of things that are also in common with each other. So let's start with the back springs. This is the QSP Hedgehog. It's got kind of like this sheep's footy type blade. We'll get into the walk and talk later. The back spring on this knife is very good, as you can see. Nice and square cut, a little tiny bit rounded, which means, you know, they took a little time to get in there and sand that a little bit and make sure it's nice. It is not perfectly flush. Like just rubbing your thumb across it, you'd never be able to tell. It feels fine. But if you drag your fingernail, it is not perfectly flush all the way. And it sticks up. Let's see if we can get it on film. I think you can see it on this side even better. Anyway, yeah, you can barely see it there. It just barely sticks up above the scales or the handle covers, whatever you want to call it, the frame, in the closed position. Let's look at the JackWolf knife. Price difference, this is like, well, I got this, I think I paid $150 for this. I think I got it on sale. No, I didn't get it on sale. I think it was $150. This is $299. Materials wise, they're real comparable. But as you can see, this one is also right behind the spring, right behind the pivot. It sticks up just barely. But I'm pretty sure this is all hafted as one piece. Like I'm pretty sure they put the spring in the knife and then sand it all and then take the scales off and do the finishing on the scales separately, because this is perfect. And the square cut on the end is perfect. Although it is a little sharp, but you know, you're not going to drag your finger in there. They didn't do any extra little rounding or anything like that on it. Very nice. Very nice. Let's look at screws. The JackWolf, the screws stick up just a little bit proud, especially the spring screw where it comes down here. The spring screw in this knife is probably underneath the scales, or maybe it uses a pin, I don't know. And this screw on this side is just a little bit above the scale. You can definitely feel it. And this one's perfectly flush. And the pivot screws are perfectly flush. Very nice. Very nice. On the Hedgehog, they are that one might stick up just a little tiny bit. These definitely are not perfectly flat, and they might even be canted a little bit. And the pivot screws definitely stick up. It's got a rounded pivot, but they didn't countersink the screws deep enough, and so they kind of stick up. So that could be a ding. So I'd say the JackWolf body screw wise is probably, I don't know. They're probably about the same body screw wise. Like, I don't know, maybe they just can't countersink those anymore. But the pivot screws are perfect. On these, the body screws are really good, but the pivot screws are not perfect. They could have countersunk them just a little bit more. That's actually, I don't know. I would say it goes to JackWolf knives on that one too. Let's look at walk and talk. Everybody likes to know about walk and talk. The JackWolf. Definitely snappier to the open from the half stop than it is to the closed from the half stop. A little bit softer pull, or is that my imagination? No, it's definitely a little softer pull from the closed to the half stop, which is nice actually, because that's where you want all your strength, is right in that area anyway, because you don't want the knife to close on you. Different pitch, right? But pretty dang good. Pretty dang good. It's very crisp, very snappy. I would say as a pull, it's probably around a 7, maybe a little more, I don't know. I'm gonna say around a 6.5 to a 7. This one here, definitely a different sound. Wow. I think that a lot of that might have to do with the thing that it has a stop pin in there for the blade to stop on. It stops in the little notch down there to help prevent you from getting blade thwack or whatever they call that. I'm gonna just barely push on it. So it's not quite as snappy from closed to half stop or half stop to open. Super snappy to the close though, like it snaps shut like a dang alligator mouth. The pull is a little stronger, I think. A little bit stronger, and of course louder, but that could be part of the design. See if we can get the, oh yeah, they'll both do that. Boy, that just snaps closed. So does that one really. Maybe this one just sounds more ferocious. It's really, I would say overall smoothness, this one is probably a little bit better. This one feels kind of herky-jerky-ish. Boy, that's really nice though. That's really nice. I'm gonna say probably overall, again, the JackWolf is just a little tiny bit better. Like, I think if someone bought this knife and took it out of the box and tried the walk and talk and never tried one of these, they'd probably say this is one of the best walk and talking knives they've ever had. And this one's just a little tiny bit better. It probably doesn't have as good a sound, especially on the close, but it's just a little smoother. It's not quite, it doesn't quite snap shut like this one. This one really, see, it just snaps shut. But overall, I think it's just a little bit smoother. So yeah, we'll give that one to the JackWolf. Try it one more time. Yeah, it's definitely snappier in the close, but to the open, it's really nice. I wish I was brave enough to do the old thumb on the blade push test. If you like loud, I'll say this one's better for loud. If you like overall smooth and comfortable, I would say that this one definitely is the winner now. How about ergonomically? Just ergonomics to the handle. Obviously, they're different handle shapes. Pretty decent. I really like that this is nice and rounded and chamfered on the edges everywhere. So in hand, it's really comfortable. I like that the blade has just a little tiny bit of chamfering. That's really nice. Again, different design. This one, I get just a little bit of hot spots on the edges. He left these edges really sharp. Like I can literally scrape my thumbnail with the shoulder of this knife. Probably intentionally part of the design. I don't know. I think doing a micro chamfer on that edge all the way around would have been really nice. But in hand, like, it's not bad. I get just a little sharpness because the shoulders are so sharp back here, but it does feel really good. On the blade wise, this side is weird. This side's sharper than that side. That side's not too bad. That, again, look, you can just scrape fingernail right off of there. Just a little sharper. I'm gonna have to give that one to this knife. They just did a little more attention to, or at least it's designed, maybe it's just part of the design, that to have that little bit of chamfering on there so it's not quite so sharp in your hand. I like that. I like that a lot. This is really close, huh? I'm still giving the JackWolf a little bit of the advantage, but that one definitely ergonomically is better. I'm gonna really quick grab one of my other sway-backs, the GOAT of the sway-back knives, the original of the sway-back knives, and I'm just gonna grab whichever one I grab. I got this one. This is the original Tony Bose sway-back jack created for case knives. And yeah, see, this has got a little tiny bit of rounding on the handles as well. It's nowhere close to the quality of the JackWolf. So that's something. I could do that myself though if I want to. Let's look at the H. The H is where the back of the blade meets the spring. On this one, it's perfect. You can't even see it hardly. There, you can barely see it. It's perfect. It's perfect. That's awesome. It's perfect. How's it on this knife? Not quite perfect. Wah, wah, wah. It's really, really nice. It's really good. It's better than most knives. But look, it's not perfectly square and it's not perfectly in the center. Where this one is perfectly square, not quite perfectly in the center. Let's give it a close, not open, just to make sure we didn't move things around. It's perfect. It's as close to perfect as you're gonna get. You're not gonna get an H on a knife any better than that. You can't feel anything. It's really good. Back spring is perfectly flush. Same with that one. You can't feel the back spring at all. Perfectly flush. That's good. How is the back spring at the half stop? Perfect. Perfect execution. Really nice. How about this one? It's just like you can't feel it if you just use your fingertip. Again, maybe a little. It is like the thickness of a hair sticking up past that bolster. Still, what a beautiful knife. So well executed. But again, I'm gonna have to give the advantage to the JackWolf. It's perfect. It's perfect. Let's look at the blade. This one, hand rubbed horizontal satin. Nice swedge on top. The swedge is equal on both sides. Oopsie. They sure appear to be, like, this one might be just a tiny bit shorter. No, it's the same. It's the same. It's really good. I really like that horizontal satin, which takes more work. It's a hollow grind. You definitely get way more sharpening out of this one, and you can see the edge is well past the plunge grind, which is really good. Let's check it out. Now, obviously, it's a different blade shape, but they're still the same things we can look at. Okay, definitely not as good as sharpening choil. You're going to be into that plunge grind probably the first time you sharpen it, but it is definitely super thin. Look how thin that is. That's crazy thin. Also hollow grind with just your standard horizontal built satin, but a really nice fine grit, like it's polishy. Logo, there's the QSP, just laser etched M390. So good steel, nice logo. Let's look at the logo on this knife. Definitely wins the blade grind just because of that sharpening choil. Engraved JackWolf S90V. Like, you can feel that that's actually engraved into the blade, and they actually took the time to color it. It probably is stamped in when they make the blade and then buffed off to leave it behind. So that's pretty cool. Another nice hand process there. Really nice. We're already 17 minutes into it. I didn't think it was going to go this long. What's my thoughts and impressions? Well, I think for the money, I think both knives hit their market point. This one's not trying to hit the same point as this one, obviously. It's about $100 cheaper, you know, $140 cheaper. Going curvature diminishing returns, is the JackWolf knives $140 better than the QSP? I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, it's a fantastic, amazing knife. It is beautiful. It is executed really well. Everything on it is executed really perfect. I wish that it didn't have the sharpness on the shoulders, but everything else I love. It's great. It's fantastic. Screws could be a little better, but that's the problem. You know, that's not even a problem. I mean, that's just whatever. It is what it is. But man, the hafting is amazing. So good, so good. This one ergonomically is really nice. Got that nice high thin blade. Definitely, like, see, you can even see right there. It's already developing a smile. The plunge grind is not good. If I had my Dremel tool, I could extend that out, but then I don't know, because it's got a stop pin, and you could end up having your blade smack the back of the knife and dull your blade. So that's not good. This is definitely not built to the same standards as this knife, but not in a way that a general user, I think, would actually notice. I mean, they might look at this and just go, oh, well, that's way cooler looking, because look, it's got a decorative pivot and it's got carbon fiber and blah, blah, blah. But when you get down to the real minor details, I would say the JackWolf is definitely better. And that just shows more attention to detail, and probably, I don't know who the OEM is, but they're doing really nice work. Really nice work. Really nice work. Is this, again, the question, is it $140 better than this knife? I don't know. I don't know. Time will have to tell that, right? Like, if in 4 months this knife starts falling apart or whatever, or something bad happens, or the edge rolls and it doesn't sharpen back up or whatever. I mean, it's really hard to tell. It's so close. I don't know. I honestly can't really answer that. I don't know. Like right here at this moment, looking at them both, I would say, I don't think those little details that are better on this knife add up to $140 worth of work. I don't know. But I definitely enjoy both knives immensely, and I definitely think that this one is definitely better than that one. So we'll see. I got a little Brojack on the way, and I've got another C. Risner on the way that's made by QSP. That's more of a traditional, that has more of a traditional blade shape and stuff to it. So we'll see. Maybe we'll compare those two when they get here and keep looking at this. I think it's just interesting to look. This is an amazing knife, guys. This is a super amazing knife. It just boils down like that. So anyway, get your family together, turn off the TV, get outdoors. Toad Sticker out.